Hello fellas and fellettes, Six Pass back again with another video. It's time yet again for another chapter review of Boruto TBV VORTEX. Now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but the story is about to enter its most deadliest battle, worse than the Code Assault and JURA and Hidari's invasion. And through this video, we're gonna find out why. So before we get into today's video, remember, I write and record all the videos you see on my channel myself, and they do take quite a bit of time and effort. So if you could just take the time out of your busy day and drop a like, it'll be much appreciated. Let's try and reach around 400 to 500 likes on this video. That'll tell me you enjoy these chapter reviews and you're looking forward for more in the future. But without further ado, let's do it. Chapter 18, let's go. So the chapter starts off with Sumire walking back to Amado's lab after her little heart-to-heart with Sarada, and as she walks in, she's greeted with the sight of Kawaki assaulting Amado. As she screamed his name, it looks like it distracted Kawaki just enough for Amado to utter Kawaki's shutdown command, which is, save your nonsense for when you're asleep, Kawaki. Immediately after, Kawaki's body shuts down, forcing him into a state of sudden unconsciousness. And right here, I feel this is one of my favorite things about Amado. I love how he came up with these interesting phrases for his cyborgs. Speaking of Delta, her shutdown command was time to go to sleep, Delta. For Code to restore his power, the command was there's no dress code. And now I'm very interested to see what the command is for Kawaki to restore his power. So, of course we probably won't get to know what all the shutdown commands are, especially for cyborgs that are no longer functional like Boro, for example. But maybe we could possibly see one for Kashin Koji, or maybe Damon. Probably no reason as of right now to shut down either of them, but that's just something me, along with a lot of other fans, wouldn't mind seeing later down the line. So let's transition our focus back over to the Land of Wind, where we can see Sarada and friends still talking with Ryu. After they all introduce themselves to him, Ryu notices that YODO is staring at him with some intense energy that doesn't seem welcoming at all. So her partner, ARAYA, tries to calm her down. As we all know, Ryu is the clone of her beloved Shinki. It's definitely understandable why she's reacting like this, but at the same time, she's not thinking of the long-term goal. Her acting along will increase the chances at saving Shinki tenfold. While they're still trying to do their part of the mission, Konohamaru has his hands full with Matsuri. Now, his job is quite different than Sarada and the others. Their job is to trick Ryu into a corner, then when the time is right, simply attack him while his guard is down. I'd say Konohamaru got it bad. He has to, and I can't believe I'm saying this with a straight face, but his job is to riz Matsuri. That will get her to trust Konohamaru more and let her guard down. Then when Sarada and the others finish off Ryu, they assist Konohamaru in taking down Matsuri. So right now we're taken to the point of view of Konohamaru, where Matsuri is still trying to explain her feelings of endearment and anxiousness to him. So far he's playing along quite well, but we can just tell he's not really all that into the conversation. That's because it's emotional for him too. He's talking to a Shinju clone of one of his closest friends while she's actually in grave danger. He doesn't know if she's gonna survive this or not. He knows it's not really her, but he just can't get past the fact that this clone is supposed to be a twisted representation of Moegi. So he can play along, but only to a certain extent. When Matsuri asks Konohamaru if she can call him Konohamaru-chan, he instantly started to get flashbacks of his childhood when Moegi used to call him Konohamaru-chan. Chan being an honorific in Japanese culture, which is commonly used for someone you're close with or want to show affection to. It can also be used for someone you consider cute, meaning Matsuri is just trying to be more formal with Konohamaru, like they've known each other for years. Now, we're kind of flip-flopping from one situation to the other. We're back with Sarada and the others as they try to do their best dealing with Ryu. Since Ryu thinks they're trying to look for clues pertaining to Boruto's whereabouts, he scatters his iron sand all over the place for detection to try and find him, or any more clues that'll lead him to his whereabouts. Right away, yet again, he's confronted by YODO. She's still staring at him with an intense killing intent, so much that Ryu notices it and gets suspicious. Now, right here, I do know that Ryu's Iron Sand offers him extraordinary detection and sensory abilities, but it is also very obvious that YODO is staring at him with the intent to kill. So I don't know if the Iron Sand is making him question Yodo's intent, or is it the obvious glare? That's important because if he can use the Iron Sand to read emotion, similar to how Casey and Naruto can detect hatred and malice in someone's heart, that can change a lot about his character, and it can increase his detection skills that much more. He found code based off this detection ability. But the only thing is, he didn't scatter any sand prior to him finding code, and we know code carries high levels of hostile intent with him. So it's very possible based off both of these situations that he can detect negative emotions. Which is why this plan of befriending the Shinju was never going to work in the first place. And if the plan was never going to work, that makes me question if Kashin Koji's visions are really valid or not. Or maybe he is seeing the correct visions, but maybe telling Boruto something else for a reason I can't even fathom to say. So all in all, I'm looking at Koji with a sense of suspicion because there's definitely something there that we need to know. And I think we will find out what that is very shortly. So Ryu continues to cooperate with the shinobi when Mitsuki decides to gather some information on the Shinju as a group and asks him why exactly are they targeting Boruto, in which Ryu replies it's because he knows too much information about the Thorn Soul and how to revive all those trapped and turned into trees. So since JURA decided that he needed to die, the rest of them are simply following his orders. So not only is Code after Boruto, but also the Shinju is out for him as well. And JURA is also working in the shadows, and there's no way Boruto can fight any one of the Shinju without JURA knowing. Because remember, all of the Shinju possess the Rinnegan, very similar to the 6 Paths of Pain and reanimated Jinchuriki. Their vision are all linked together, which means there's a great possibility they can all see what each other sees, if they so please. That's why it's so dangerous for Boruto to rendezvous with Sarada and the others and help them fight. JURA will almost immediately pop out using the claw marks on one of either Ryu or Matsuri. So finally, Sarada brings up the Thorn Soul again and asks if it's possible they can use it to lure out Boruto since he seems like he's in need of it so much. While their plan is still brewing up, we cut back to Kawaki as he wakes up from being put to sleep. Amado and Sumire are with him in a lab with AKEBI's new body. Amado tells Kawaki he agrees that the existence of the Divine Trees is a threat. They were a threat that was completely unexpected, hence why Kawaki got his limiters put on him. And he also agrees that in order to counter them, he needs to modify his ability parameters into a form purely focused on offensive capability, but only on one condition, and that condition is to engrave his karma onto the AKEBI body and revive her. If he can do that, then he'll remove Kawaki's limiters right then and there. However, Kawaki objects to these conditions until the threat of the Shinju is taken care of. And I know Kawaki seems to be hasty in a lot of his actions and doesn't really tend to think things through logically, but here I might have to agree with him. We don't know how this karmic resurrection will go, not even Amado knows. So she can indeed turn into some crazy Otsutsuki. So he tells Amado in the event that his daughter does turn into a new Otsutsuki, he'll kill her without any second thought. Amado understands that there is such a possibility of that happening and agrees to those conditions. But here's the big concern. Since they have no way of knowing how this karmic resurrection will go, Kawaki feels that it's smarter to deal with the current enemy first before creating another potential problem, which is very smart thinking on Kawaki's side. Amado states Kawaki is practically immortal because of his regen amp. If all that is turned towards offense, then he can be killed very easily by the Shinju. And if he's killed, then his dream is over. But what Amado doesn't understand is that if the Shinju end up destroying the planet, that won't matter anyway. His dream is just as doomed. His best chance is to remove Kawaki's limiters to give him a fighting chance. Therefore, he can help Boruto defeat the Shinju and create an environment that is safe for Amado and his daughter to live happily. So Kawaki just casually drops one of the hardest lines he have ever uttered in the entire series. To kill those monsters, turn me into a monster greater than them. Like that's so hard, I'm not even gonna lie. Only after he kills Boruto, Code, and the Divine Trees, he will reunite Amado with his daughter. So now fully expect Kawaki to get his limiters removed in chapter 19. The latest will be chapter 20. And we're gonna be live reviewing the chapter when that happens. So make sure you're already subscribed and got those post notifications turned on, because it's gonna be one of my best live streams in a long time. Don't miss it. This is gonna be one of the most important chapters in the entire series. So moving on, we tune back into the Land of Wind, and as we left off, Konohamaru is still talking and trying to get Matsuri on his side, until he fumbled. And I mean fumbled bad. This man told Matsuri not to call him Konohamaru-chan because the only one who calls him that is Moegi. And we can tell she wasn't too happy about that. As Matsuri experienced love for the first time in the same day, she also experienced heartbreak and jealousy for the first time in the same day. And since she cannot comprehend those feelings, she immediately turned hostile towards Konohamaru and gets ready to attack him. The situation has turned further and further from the vision that Kashin Koji seen. Or is it exactly what he envisioned? That's the question we gotta ask ourselves. I might save that for a later video, but just try to answer that question. Is this what Kashin Koji envisioned? Is the plan supposed to go wrong? Are they supposed to fight the Shinju and just kill them off regularly? Is someone gonna have a crazy transformation or awakening to just destroy all the Shinju? I don't know. Only time will tell. Now, transitioning back to SARADA and the others, Ryu agrees with SARADA to use the Thorn Soul to lure Boruto out of the shadows. He pulls the Thorn Soul out of his chest and flaunts it in the sky. YODO then sees this as a perfect opportunity to take the Thorn Soul to save Shinki and launches herself, taking the obvious bait that Ryu set for them. And again, I knew she was gonna sell the mission. It was very obvious from the start. No surprise here. I said it a million times. Not gonna say it again. She's a sell artist. It's all her fault. So now the true fight has officially begun. After Ryu stops YODO from getting his Thorn Soul, he uses the Iron Sand he placed on SARADA to control her body. As SARADA's body lunges towards YODO with a kunai in her hand, ARAYA comes out of nowhere and stops her, dissipating and completely absorbing the Iron Sand into his sword using a technique called Lodestone Sand Sealing Blade. And that is the end of the chapter. So now it looks like the beginning of the next battle has begun. What will we see in this fight? Who will be the MVP? SARADA, Mitsuki, or maybe ARAYA? And what will happen with Konohamaru and Matsuri? Will he succeed in calming her down, or will they end up battling each other? And if they do fight, what do you think will happen? Leave all your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section and rate the chapter 1 through 10. 1 being bad and 10 being the best. For me, I'm gonna rate it a cool 8.5. That's pretty solid for a chapter that didn't really show us anything too extreme, but all it did was set up the next chapter to be all that better. So anyway, if you enjoyed this chapter review and wish to see more in the near future, then don't hesitate to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss another video like this, or of course when I go live to cover the chapter spoilers next month. And until next time, I'll see you boys and girls in my next video, and I'm out. Peace.